Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. Today, we're back to the rainbow picture, and I'm gonna render out a lot of these little foreground elements. By the way, I don't like this branch again. So I'm gonna be back to adjusting that at the start of every stream, it seems. Oh well, it's okay, I'll find a good spot for it eventually. But actually, before I get into the foreground, there is one thing I would like to do. I'm gonna hide it for a second so I can see, and man. Alright, good. I've just got some gunk in my throat that just will not go away. Anywho, when I looked at it here, I feel like her eyes are a little bit too tall. Like, I think the width on them is fine, but they feel a little bit tall. And I was debating on whether or not I thought it was okay to leave it like that, and I don't know, I just don't think it suits her. And when drawing fan art, I feel like that is like the worst crime you can commit, of just, you know, putting something in that does not suit the thing that you're trying to draw. So I'm going to try my best to do this as like non-destructively as possible, so I don't have to redraw too many things, but I want to just narrow them just a little bit here. And I'm hoping it won't be too much work for me. We shall see. It's inevitably going to be a little bit, because like I can already see that the bottom lash is now a little bit too short, or not long enough, but it's okay. I think it's worth it. I already think they look a little bit better, honestly. And this is why they still look a little funky. And I get the feeling that with this change, I'm gonna have to change a few other things, like her face feels a little bit long to me. So I'm going to have to adjust that a little bit too, and well, this is why I check things beforehand. I do it as much as I can, but sometimes it just doesn't always work out, and I do have to make some changes afterward. Okay. And just due to the very, very crisp nature of the style, I do want to make sure that everything is really smooth after making all those changes. Mostly from Liquify. Liquify has a tendency to make things just a little bit blurry. So I just paint over it real quick, and then it's generally fine again. Then you can see I'm going to have to adjust the eyelid a little bit. You can see a little weird corner right there. But that's fine. All of this is pretty easy to fix. And then I see the eyelash getting cut off a little bit right there, so go draw that back in and all that good stuff. And I don't think what I had before necessarily looks bad. I just really did not think that it suited Ririsya. And that's just a terrible thing to do when drawing fan art. Everything on it, especially something as important as eyes, really should suit the character that you're trying to draw. So I'll just go ahead and adjust the eye a little bit here. Make sure that everything is lining up properly there. There might be a couple of things I need to adjust there, but honestly, I don't really think that things look too bad around here. Mostly, I just want to make sure that all of this stays pretty smooth. But you can see, like, for example, now there's a little bit more of the pupil showing, and I don't have the shadow going all the way around it. I might even need to adjust the eye itself. And I will definitely be double checking her gaze here before I go in and start fixing up the eyes. Because if I pull this near the edge here, then I won't have to redraw anything down there. And you know, that would just be ideal for everyone. So there's not much point until I know that the eye is sitting where it needs to sit. For some reason I could not get that curve the way I wanted it, so had to zoom in a little here. For this side, I think I'm going to invert the colors real quick just to make sure I'm getting everything. So we will have her in slightly demonic mode. There we go. And then I can just plop the shadow back in, no problem. All is well. Okay. So now before I adjust the eyes themselves, let me double check that she is looking where I want her to look. Yeah, I do think that eye has to come a little bit to the right. No, not that part. This part. There we go. Maybe not that far. Okay. And then the other concern that I had is that her face seems just a little bit long. So I'm going to have to adjust a lot of features there, and I'm hoping that I will not have to redo too much of the hair. But I get the feeling I'm going to have to redo a little bit. Again, slightly unfortunate, but better than the alternative. So I'm just going to lower her eyes a little bit here. Which does mean I'm probably going to have to adjust the eyelids as well. And I think I would also like to lower the nose just a little bit. And actually, I don't think I'll have to adjust the hair that much. Phew. I will have to do a little. But not as much as I feared. So, that is nice. I only want to lower the bangs, which is why I say that I will have to do a little bit. And that will probably require just a little bit of redrawing, especially like on the top of her head. And like, for example, on this strand right there. But I'm going to try to minimize the damage as much as I can. Okay. So that's looking a little better. I guess I'll go ahead and redraw this now, so let's get rid of all of my extra lighting and stuff. Okay. So you can see just a few little spots here that need to be put back. I'm actually just going to try to grab as much of this guy as I can. Pain. My computer thought I lifted up on the tablet when I, in fact, did not. Okay, so that saved most of it, so now I just do a little bit of smoothing and then all is well. I definitely want to make sure that all my lighting is gone, so this way I can pick colors where necessary. And then I'm going to have to put in a little bit of extra effort just to make sure that this is smooth. And would you look at that? I'm drawing hair again. Because hair always comes back to haunt me. Always. It never lets me go. Okay, so that looks alright. Let me see. Since this is anime hair, I'm actually gonna... Instead of erasing that part, I'm actually just gonna make the hair thicker. And that dealt with the majority of it. I will have to do a little bit of extra work on the shine layer, but for now, just gotta make sure that all of this is lining up again. So like this needs to go all the way to the end. Stuff like that. And then you can see it's super broken right there. Okay, so that is somewhere on the strands layer then. So yeah, just a few little things that I gotta fix up at the top, but again, expected. That's why I like to make sure that everything is looking good before I render things, so that this way I don't have to do stuff like this. Or at least try to minimize it as much as I can. Sometimes things just don't work out, and it's better to fix it than to have something as important as eyes just not suiting the character at all. So that's all that's going on here. And beyond that, just the little bit of cleaning again. And then after that, I'm just gonna dig into the foreground and I'm just gonna hopefully finish that in its entirety today. Because there's not that much going on in the foreground. It's pretty easy. And if I'm lucky, maybe I'll find a spot where I like that branch. Yeah. Or maybe it'll be easier to make it look good when it has a little bit of lighting on it. Could also just be a lighting issue. I'd believe that. I would. So there we go, just fixing up where it kind of connects off screen here. And I think that's most of it. So we got a little bit right there that I need to fix. Okay, so that's not a problem there. So it's probably a strands layer issue. No. What are you, little guy? Okay, so it's something going on in the background, in which case... Let's see, what is the easiest way to fix this? Probably just to do this, and then I'll go into the background here. Where's my back hair? And we'll just plop a little bit more purple in there so I can see what I'm doing. Worst comes to worst, I'll fix it later if I don't like where that purple is. But there we go. Now I can sanely draw that, and then I see that there's a little more problems with her eyes there, so I will go and fix that too. Okay. But that should be all the issues there. So fortunately, it looks like I was able to minimize the amount of redrawing stuff I had to do in order to fix those facial issues that I didn't like. And I do think that she looks much better like this, and still absolutely adorable. So all is well. So let me just double check the shine layer and make sure that everything is still lining up. It looks like it is not. Which is weird, because I thought I moved everything down together. So I'm not sure why this would not have been moved properly. I guess it's because I changed the proportions in the top part. So I might just redo shine layer entirely. How did these guys look? All the extra lights and stuff that I have. Are they still all in the right place? Maybe not this guy. Maybe I need to erase just a little bit. Oops. Nope. Erase just a little bit of this guy. Just to get that going there, and then... yeah, that's right. I used a selection in order to do the extra light. So that's not going to work anymore, so I'm going to have to redo all of that. Okay, that's fine. I just used a yellow. And then I also see that there's a break in the shading here, so I need to fix that before I can do anything else. The highlights are fine, though. Are they fine? No. They didn't get moved with everything else. Okay. Well, I can fix that. Look. The fact that it's a little bit of a pain is exactly why I try to avoid this situation happening. And really make sure I like things. So if you ever wonder why I look away for a few minutes, whenever I'm, like, finishing up an area and I'm like, okay, I want to make sure I like this 5 minutes from now, this is pretty much why. Because if I am wrong and I want to make bigger changes here, like, I just decide that her eyes are too long and her face is too long, well, it's a lot more effort. It's a lot more effort to change things after I've rendered it. And then I have to go back through and smooth it all again. And it's especially a pain for something like hair. Because anime hair's got a lot going on. Okay, are there any other bits that I need to fix here? I think what is this? What are you? Oh, you're part of the background. Okay, you're just part of the coat. Okay, so the extra shadows look fine still, I think. So I will leave those. Let's redo the shine. So all I do there, I just kind of brush over where all the highlights are. Oh, right. I can't do that yet. I have to move the highlights. What am I doing? The highlights got all discombobulated and all that, too. Okay. But it's only going to be the highlights on her bangs that got messed up. So I think as long as I line this up here... then everything should be fine again. It's like I didn't transform it. I didn't do much moving around with it. I literally just pushed it down very slightly. Okay. So I'm gonna have to get rid of the glow for now. And then draw the little bits that got changed, so you can see that this isn't quite on the edge anymore, and just certain small things like that. Actually, I think it is, and this is just the coat that I'm seeing. I will double check that, though. Sure is. Okay. But I still have to do this because, yeah, there's some stuff there, and up at the top especially got hit hard. See? Right up here. Check your proportions before rendering, kids. You'll save yourself a lot of trouble. Like a lot. Okay. So now I just gotta fix some of these things that were once off screen and now are not. This one I'm gonna put off screen again. But some of these I don't think they have to be off screen. And man, I feel like I skipped this one entirely when I went through the smoothing phase. This one's a mess. How the heck did I do that? Well, anyway. Okay. So there we go. I think they're looking good. So now I can put the shiny bit back on. Make them a little glowy. Okay. And now I can properly do the shine again. Because now all the highlights are in the right place, so I know exactly where to brush in my bright lights. And then after this, I'll just have to go back and erase and blend and all that stuff. Just, you know, when you make a mistake that big, you sometimes gotta go back and redo a bunch of things. It is what it is. But I still don't feel like there's much to redo. It'll be fine. I am, at best, mildly perturbed. Hello there, Beanie. Welcome back. Okay, let's go take the lights out of the shadows, because lights do not belong in the shadows. Shadows must be dark for proper contrast. I was. And then I realized that her face was a little bit long, and I had to adjust the hair a little bit to compensate for that. And so now I gotta fix some things in the hair. I told you, anime hair never leaves you. It'll always find a way to come back to haunt you. Always. But it shouldn't take too long because I've already gotten the worst of it out of there. I just gotta fix the lighting, basically. By the way, I saw your apple. Yeah, I saw your apple. It was very cute. The top hat was so tiny. Okay. Unfortunately, once I blend all this, I think that'll be like 90% of what I gotta fix here. I do need to fix my light gradient as well, but that was comparatively easy, so I'm not really that worried about it. And I always prefer just going through and erasing manually like this rather than using selections. I don't know why, but I do like the way it looks more. Also, I think I just generally dislike selections. I use them when appropriate, but I don't know. There is something about the rougher look of just a manual eraser that does something for me. Okay. So then I think I just got the little bits from the side hair here. Did I get over here yet? I don't remember. Nope. Okay. Did not. Fortunately, it's easy to tell. It's easy to tell because there is still light in these shadows. And that is a sure sign that I have not done this yet. But I think this is the last bit, and then I can just go smooth it out a little with my textured smudge tool. It'll be great. That's exactly why I don't mind being a little bit messy. I know it's going to get all blended out when the time comes. Okay. I get it all? I think so. Alright, let's get that smudge tool here. And it is literally called Textured Smudge. Or Blender Textured Soft. And then I just pull it all around. I don't know. It makes it a little bit more interesting, I guess. And I see I did indeed miss a spot. It always happens. Pretty much always. So now I just smooth it all out, put a little bit of hair texture back in, and all will be well. And then I just have like one more small gradient to do, and then that'll be it for a fixin' up hair. All right. So yeah, everything's moving pretty well here. It's looking a lot smoother. And I still do like just putting the little bits just like right here. I don't know. I think it looks more hair-like. I like it. So I keep doing it. This is one gradient that I have kept for a very long time, and I do like it, even though it does take a little bit to get through it all. But the effect is nice, and I've just kind of accepted that when it comes to drawing hair, it just takes a while. Always. And it'll always find a way to haunt you in the end. And just when you think you're free, the hair will creep up again and be like, hello, I am here. Please pay more attention to me. That's why I say it's a dang good thing it looks good, because otherwise nobody would ever put up with the shenanigans. Okay. Oh, there we go. I think I got it all. Looks fine to me. So now I'm just gonna go put in that yellow layer that I had. I don't remember what color I used. I knew I wouldn't be able to get it back, so I didn't try to get it. I just knew that it was some kind of probably dark yellow, since I have it on color dodge. There's no way it's a light yellow, so. Alright, I'm gonna hide everything I got there and select the light areas. So that this way I don't have to go through and do a bunch of erasing with the dark areas again. Try to keep things a little bit simpler for me. Gonna exclude some of the shadows that are on the strands layer. I don't think it'll go this far, but I guess I'll be ready just in case, and I do think that a little bit will come just right here, but probably no more than that, so I don't think I need to select any more. And I don't think it'll hit this strand over there, so I will not select that one. I will select this one, though. There we go. Okay, let's go put all my other layers back on, so this way I can see the final result. I grew the selection by a layer, or by a pixel, rather. And now I just brush in those light spots again. Welcome back, Beanie. Okay, and I think I picked a color that's a little bit too dark. So I will be adjusting that at the end here, but I just kind of want to brush on all the parts that I think need a bit of extra light here. And we'll just make it nice and bright and lovely. Okay, so maybe somewhere around there. And unfortunately, I'm never going to be able to get that color because I don't think I ever pressed down completely. But somewhere around there might be accurate, and hopefully I can use that to... Nope, that's still too dark. I should have gotten the color. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go back here. But I've completely lost the color. Okay. I'm gonna try that again. And this time I'm gonna make sure that I have the color in an opaque way somewhere. Okay. Please give me my selection back, Krita. I need it. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to just put a thing here. My comic is largely still an idea in my head. I think I have written maybe 3,000 words. I plan on doing NaNoWriMo next month. I know that the official thing is dead, but you know what? It's fine. I can still try to write 50,000 words in a month if I want to. So, I will still be trying to do that next month, but no way I can do that and Inktober at the same time, so I will still just do it in November, as has been tradition. So I'll probably be posting daily word count goals and all that stuff when the time comes, and we'll see how it all works out. I probably won't post snippets, though, because I am way too shy. I gotta let my first draft just be something that nobody ever sees, because otherwise I'll start worrying about the quality, as opposed to just vomiting out as many words as possible to get the first draft done. And right now I do kind of feel like I just gotta get the words out. Oh, thank you. I like lighting. Lighting is fun. Okay, let's make this a good color now. don't remember what color I used before, but I can find something good again. I think that looks pretty good. And if I hide this, I now have this that I can add to my swatch. There we go. So now I will never lose the color again. So there we go. I think that is all the hair corrected. Alrighty, let's move on to the next thing I wanted to correct before getting to the foreground. And that was, I did not like how this shadow was sitting on her mouth. Like when I zoom out a lot, it just makes her mouth look really long. And when I put the shadows back on and all my extra lighting, it makes it even worse. So you can see her mouth just looks really, really long with all my other layers turned on. So I'm going to move this shadow. And fortunately that'll be easy because I put the gradient on a separate layer. I was smart this time. So I can very easily get my colors here. And I don't have to worry about redrawing a gradient or anything. So I'm just going to put it over here. Right below the mouth. I might even raise the mouth a little bit if this is also not working for me. I'm not going to smooth it yet. I just want to double check it. How does this look now? Let's turn all the layers back on. And let's see how it looks on all the lighting. Okay. I think it's doing a little bit better, but I do think I will still move the mouth a little. Mostly because I think it needs to go just a little bit to the right. Like, independent of that shadow, I think it is just in the wrong place. Okay. Let me see how that looks without everything. Oh, no, need the head. How about without the hair? This does make her chin a little bit big, but I think that's easily fixed by just... boop. And the only reason I'm bothering now is because there are a few places where the chin sticks out from the hair, and I want to make sure that they are all correctly placed. Otherwise, I wouldn't really be worrying about this right now. Okay, and I will also just plop the shadows back on. Okay. I didn't spend very much time smoothing that. I wasn't sure how much of it was going to show. It looks like practically none of it, so excellent. And now I think it does indeed look much better. That face is much better than what I had before, I think. So now I can go through and just smooth out the new shadow here, and then I will have to correct the colors on the mouth. But that is very, very doable. Yeah, I didn't even move it that much. It's kind of amazing how much of those little tweaks can actually affect things. Especially when it comes to human faces. Humans are just so predisposed to knowing what faces look like, that even it being slightly off can just make things feel a little wrong. So, always worth doing. And there we go. Now her mouth doesn't look super long anymore. Okay, let's go and correct the shadows in the mouth. Because I don't need these anymore. Little extra shadows I put in. There we go. Okay. So, I guess I will turn my lighting layers back on because they make me happy. But I think it is time to go derp around at the foreground. And, you know, I forgot to remember how to draw rain. So I'll probably have to remember how to do that today. Okay. But the main thing I wanted to really work on is just like the fence and the trees. I'll go ahead and start with the trees. Just because I still don't like this branch. Still don't. Someday I will find a good spot for him to live. Hopefully today will be that day. I am hopeful. Every time I do get a little bit closer. It's like I know the gist of how to draw rain. It's just, what I drew before didn't really work for me. That, I feel like, blends a little bit too much with the side of her head. I did like it a little bit more vertical. They are, and I think backgrounds are fun to draw. They get a bit, they are a little bit of extra work, but I do think that they do an excellent job of enhancing just everything you got down here. And plus, then you get to do a bunch of cool stuff with light, and that's always a good time. Nah. Okay. So let's see how I like this tree in 5 minutes. For now, I think I'm going to light the fence post a little. I am afraid of destroying things, so I'm gonna do it on a separate layer. I am very afraid of messing things up here. But fortunately, I have my blue light color saved. Okay, I'm gonna de-blur this for a second, just so I can know where I should actually put this light. So light's coming from some random direction over here somewhere. So it's like on the top and the right side. So I want to do something like this. And we'll let it hit the top of this. And I am not going to try to be neat at all, because all of this is going to be super blurry. I just have it temporarily unblurred so that this way I can actually draw it with a degree of sanity. Because doing this with it all blurred would be a pain. And then I am hopeful that this will be sufficient to make this part look interesting. And then once I have this, you know, looking good, then I can just leave it on all the time, and then I know which parts of the character I can just ignore. That's why I say I didn't do this when I was drawing Rooney in my other drawing. I guess I'll call it the A-side drawing. But I probably should have. Because I ended up covering a lot of areas in Foreground, and that's just always kind of unfortunate. Okay, so far so good. Oops. That's right, I still have it set to erase. So now we'll just deal with some extreme Krita lag while it has a hard time with all this. Well, it has a stroke due to all the blur. Okay. Now I want to make it a little bit shinier and more metallic. And this I think I will do with the blur on, because I don't really want it to be super noticeable or anything. Okay, but I think that's sufficient. I think that's about all I need there. How about the trees? The trees I might honestly just leave pretty dang close to black. I think that might be a little bit too close to black. So I will just lightly brush over them. Even that feels like too much. Let me darken it again. Okay, and then just lightly brush over the parts directly facing the light. Super lightly. I think I want a little bit more here just to separate it from her hair. Yep, I think that's it. So the only other thing would be to perfect the rainbow, which is going to be light and therefore not really affecting things. And doing the rain. Okay. I'm gonna look up some references. And then I think I will indeed attempt to do the rainbow light. Today, I'm just gonna do all the foreground. And then I'm just gonna keep it on for probably most things. Let me see. I do have the rainbow on a separate layer here, or a separate group, so I can turn that off when I need to be able to pick colors from her. So that sounds pretty good. And I think I'm good with the location of this branch finally, so that makes me happy. I will get rid of this little bulge in the tree, though. It's a bit weird. There we go. Then I'm just putting a little bit of wood texture into things. It's not super noticeable, but I just didn't like how the light part looked, I guess. Just one of those things. Okay. But it's like all super blurred, so any more detail than that is like overkill. I think these look sufficiently shiny. This one a bit less so, but that's kind of intentional, so... I think all I need to do there in order to be happy is pull back the light just a little. A little bit too bright for where it is. Krita still just slightly having a stroke because of all the blur. Okay. There we go. Okay. I have never attempted to draw something quite like what I have in mind for the rainbow. So... I guess it's science time. Okay, so that I'm definitely going to want, but I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it yet, so I'm not going to worry about it just yet. Oh yeah, you gotta love science. Makes everything better. The screen is way better. Addition's not bad, though. I think I like addition a little better. Okay. I'll go ahead and hide the swatch. I don't need it here. Alright, so let's see. What do I want to do here? I've got a particular pattern of light refraction in my head. But I've never attempted to draw something quite like it, so that's why I'm over here looking at other pictures. Seeing if I can find something kind of similar, and the answer is yes, I did indeed find something a little bit similar. The image in my head is a little bit thicker than what I normally see, so I'm scared. This looks okay already, so I'm gonna duplicate the layer. Oops, okay, so layer duplicated. So now if I completely mess it up, it'll be fine. That always just makes me feel a little better. So right now I'm just cutting into it with an eraser. And hoping it kind of does what I want here. I'm gonna hide the rain. It is in the way right now. It kind of is. I mean, a little. Okay, this is promising, though. I gotta be real careful about dragging everything out, though. Oh god, this is scary. I'm gonna laugh nervously for a little bit. Oh man. Smudge tool is powerful. Take this part back up. I don't want it that low. But this is getting closer to what I have in mind, so I think I'm on the right track here. I just kind of wanted it to be a little bit wavier. A little bit more like a bright shine. Or maybe to some extent, like a light filtering through the trees. Hold on, there's a little fly on my microphone. There we go. Got him off. Hello there, Technobot, and yes you did. I am trying things. I'm trying to make the rainbow look cool. It is time to do the foreground. I decided to do the foreground first this time, instead of finishing the character and then doing the foreground. I just did the face. Because I like it when I can have a face looking back at me. It makes me happy. Okay, but this is working. Let's get a small one and... get some of this going in there. Okay, good. I made my backup layer for nothing. So I think this looks pretty good. Oddly appropriate, because I drew a bunch of fireworks for today's Inktober drawing, which I will post after stream. So I'm already kind of in a headspace of doing random stuff with light. Okay, and I think that's fine. I don't think I have to really get much more detailed than that. I will go ahead and kind of take back a few of the spikes. But other than that, I think that's about what I wanted. Just a little bit of light filtering through various areas here. Looks good to me. Okay, I think I can be happy with that. So now for the other bit, there's like some stuff that I can do to make it a little bit shinier, and that's going to be the next step. Which is, again, I have no idea what I'm doing, but, you know, it's not the first time. So, just gotta try things anyway. I want my blue. So, again, I'm just trying to think of what light does in the rain like this. Again, I have a vision. But the problem with seeing things in your head is that you often don't actually know what they look like. Because your brain is just like, oh yes, this is perfect. And all it sees is just the vague idea. Without actually knowing what it actually looks like. Brains are liars, I swear. So here's hoping I can kind of find something adjacent to what I'm looking for here. Because I think I got two things in my head at the moment. Alright, so I'm starting with just a big line. And now I'm gonna go beat the ever-loving snot out of it with my smudge tool. Let's go. So, I don't know, something like that. And then I'm gonna have to change the colors a little bit in a few areas, I think. And then I think there's actually like a part 2 to this. Where I have like a sunbeam or something coming through. This is more supposed to be just light from the rainbow itself. This isn't working for me. I think I drew it in the wrong spot. Oh no. I derped too hard. And now Krita's having trouble. I think I might have to hide my blur layer for a little bit. So if you look at the bottom here next to my arm, you can kind of see that it's trying to do a bunch of operations. And it was a little confused. Okay, this isn't what I was trying to do, but I think it works. Let me curve this correctly. Look, I told you, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I am just trying things and praying that I kind of get the effect I want. I don't know, maybe if I desaturate this color a little bit. I'm gonna put it under the rainbow, maybe? No, that's worse. That's decidedly worse. No, I don't like it. I like it a little bit better blue, and then I think if I just take it back in a few places. Yeah, brains do what they want. Don't worry about it. That's why I say, if you ever get thoughts, like, don't worry, they're just thoughts. Brains are dumb as hell. So don't worry about it. Your thoughts and your feelings are not always a reflection of reality. Okay. I guess that's fine. I will try to do the other thing I wanted to do here now. Let's see. Maybe still on a little bit of color dodge. I thought that looked okay. I'm still set to eraser. Let's get a little bit of, like, sunlight filtering through the trees here. I just want, like, some sunbeams. I'm trying to be gentle, but it's hard. This smudge tool, I never really gave it much credit, but it can do some pretty cool things, and when you're trying to do the right things. So I'll definitely have to use it more. Okay, a little strong. And once again, Krita doing Krita things and having trouble. I'm not used to having this much trouble. It's like my computer is super powerful, so it never lags like this on me, man. Okay, I'm gonna hide the trees for a little bit, just so hopefully I can draw this without having to, you know, deal with this nonsense. But I gotta wait for that to happen before I can do anything, so how you doing, guys? Okay, there it goes. I will hide the blur layer for a little bit. There we go. And hopefully that makes it stop puking. I know, right? Look, Krita is doing its best. And thank you, by the way. Okay, now I'm gonna go back over to that cool new shiny smudge tool and kind of pull it all together. But it's doing what I want now, so... Or rather, it's doing one piece of what I wanted. I still don't feel like the rainbow's necessarily shiny enough. So I might have to do some shenanigans with that. I'm not sure yet. Oh no. Man, even without the blur layer, it's still having trouble. Rude. Oh well. I guess it's just trying to move a ton of pixels at once here, so... Don't worry. I will forgive you. Okay, I'm gonna go to my other smudge tool. I've had great luck with this one for this kind of effect. Okay. And I mean, I want to get this part right because, well, you know, this is like the main lighting here. So I do want to make sure that it is the way I want it to be. Okay, so I'm gonna take it like this. Again, trying to get that other effect that exists in my head, but I'm not quite sure what it is, so I have to try things until it exists the way that I think it should. I don't know, maybe it is right like this. Maybe what I do is I take the airbrush and lightly brush over it with this color instead. Alright. Well, I'll see you later, Beanie. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. I don't know, maybe I don't need this extra thing like I keep thinking that I do. Maybe this is enough. I don't know, I just feel like it needs something shiny. And I don't know how to describe the shiny thing that I think should exist. Maybe it's just a little bit of, harder lines? Like, I'm gonna blur these a little bit. But maybe it's just something like this. I don't know, man. Okay, this is the purpose of science, of just trying to figure it out. That's not bad. Maybe that is all it is. Just slightly harder lines than what I had. So I'm trying to get a lot of variance in there. So that this way when I go through and blur it, it should, in theory, look kind of interesting. Say in theory because I don't know what to expect, man. It's a little strong. Is it just because I should get rid of the other one? No, other one definitely needs to be there. Okay, so if I reduce the opacity on you a little, or maybe I should add you to screen. No, color dodge works way better. Okay. I will just tame this a little bit. Dear God, that's getting so bright though. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this layer and after kinda finalizing its position and stuff and making sure that I like all the things that are there and all that good stuff, I'm gonna actually like put a bunch of colors on it. We're gonna make it more rainbow. You know, as you do when you're drawing rainbows. And I'll see how that works out for me. I'm just brush it on color wherever I feel like, really. Okay. That's a little better. It still feels really messy to me, though. Maybe it's the initial rainbow. What does it look like with the neater rainbow? A little better, but I do think that I want a little bit more of this energy, just maybe not as strong as the last version. So once again, I'm gonna duplicate the layer just to make sure that I have a backup. It makes me a little bit less nervous about trying things. And I'm gonna go ahead and try to, I don't know, make it a little bit neater than the last one, but still have similar energy. Because I don't know, right now I feel like the light is just a little bit overpowering. Okay, that's pretty good. And then on this layer, this isn't really an opacity change thing. I just want to take my airbrush and take certain areas back a little. I just feel like it's a little strong. Gotta temper my strength a little bit here. Gotta show a little bit of restraint. Okay, that's not bad though. Yeah, I think I can be happy with that. Okay, how do I draw rain again? Specifically, a rain in a foreground. It's one of those things that seems like it should be simple. Like, I know roughly how to do it, but I didn't like the result I had. So I'm taking a look at some images where I do like the result, seeing what they do. And then I shall steal their ideas. As any good artist should. Okay, I think I get the gist. Let's get some rain in there. I'm gonna start with my light color. It makes sense to me for reasons unknown to me, but it does, so I'm gonna roll with that. And then I'm gonna get a fairly thin line here. 3 pixels, probably a little bit too thin. This seems fine. And then I'm gonna draw some lines. I'm just using the line tool here so that this way they'll be perfectly straight. Overlay is not working for me. Yeah, I know roughly how to do it. It's just what I did before I didn't like. So that's why I'm just like, okay, I have to remember how to do this. And so part of it might just be neatness. Okay, so I'm going to start with this. And I'm just kind of plopping down lines in various areas. I'm trying to be a little bit more gentle around the face. Like that, there needs to be some there because it is in the foreground. I've got the background rain looking pretty okay already. And I am trying to keep them roughly parallel with each other. I say roughly, it's fine if it's not perfect. But I don't want them to be too far off from each other. This I actually think I want to be on top of the fences and stuff. Yes, yes I do. Okay, so that should be fine to start. Let's see what it looks like blurred. Give me all the blur, man. I'm probably gonna have to do this like multiple times in order to get it to work for me. Okay, it's a start. Let's see. Will my lovely friend the smudge tool help me? And like I do want the rain to be like a heavy rain, so it does need to be pretty strong. I can't leave it too weak. In fact, I think this still looks too weak. So maybe I do just need thinner or shorter lines. Oh man. Krita still having trouble with the smudge tool. I'm gonna just try it without the line tool this time. I'm gonna try some shorter ones. It's a little bit harder to see now, but hopefully that'll be okay. I might just need to pick a different blend mode. I don't know, can I just leave it on normal? Maybe I can. I guess that's okay. And then I'll just take back the parts that are a little bit too strong. Try to get my random line zen on. Let's go. Oh no, I don't want it. I don't want it too hard on the face. There we go. Fortunately, even if I do get it a little bit too hard on the face, I can pull it back super easily. The joy of an airbrush eraser. Alright, I think it's almost time to make Krita wheeze again. And start smudging this. Alright, let's give it some trouble. Here we go. Okay, yeah, that's not looking bad. I will have to kind of trim it and take it back in a few places, but I think that this is a reasonable start. I think I would also, if I can, like to put it on some blend mode, just so it blends in better with certain areas, but... I guess this works. Okay. Okay. Oh, let's see what I got here. See if I can make this work for me. And if I don't, I will just try again. It's fine. Okay, and then just another little thing here. Set it on the same blend mode. No, not burn, addition. There we go. And I'm gonna do something kind of similar, I think. Except this time I'm not gonna blur it quite as much. I'm gonna keep them a little bit smaller. So that this way I don't have to blur it quite as much. I think it'll probably still need some, but I just want to add a little bit of, like, variation into things. And then after this, I think I'll do one more where I have a little bit more, like, circular drops. Just a few spots. I swear, when it comes time to post this on the internet, YouTube is going to eat the quality on this alive. I can already picture it. With just all the little random little bits of light I have going on here. For those of you that view my art on YouTube, it's a terrible idea. I know I upload it to YouTube still, but if you actually want to see it in a place where it looks good, like, try Pixiv or, you know, even DeviantArt or something. YouTube has, like, the worst compression ever. And it just always looks terrible. Like, legitimately terrible. It is the worst. It is even worse than Twitter. Where don't I post? There's a social media platform you like, I probably got one. I have a whole bunch of links under my About section on the main channel page if you want to look there, but you can also just tell me which platform you'd like to see my art on, and I probably have one, and I can give you the link just, like, right now. I think Pinterest is probably the only big one I don't upload to. keep feeling like I should sometimes, but man, just the thought of having yet another place to upload every single thing that I ever make is daunting. Okay, Instagram it is then. There you go. Okay, that helped. It's maybe a little chaotic. How does it look when I actually zoom in? So I might still take some of this back a little, but it's a start. Let me make these lines look a little better. And then I'll do the same on the previous layer, but this one is a little bit more, like, in focus. So I want to do it first. Make sure all these little hooks that I have, like, at the edge of my lines there are not there. That they're a little bit straighter. I like to make sure things look really good in two views. The first one is where it's fit onto the screen. So, like, probably about here. And then the other one is at 100%, which will be about here. So this way, anyone that zooms in will be able to see all the cool things. But for the most part, I'm working outward right now. And I think you can tell because, yeah, this is really, really, really strong. It looks okay when I'm really zoomed out, but the minute I zoom in a little, it's just like, wow, that's a lot of stuff. So let's take it back just a little here. Hopefully it'll still have the impression of rain, but just not beating me over the head with it. Okay, I guess it's fine. Let me see, where was that one I liked that had like a few circular drops that I thought looked really good? I just want to see how they did it again. Okay. Rough idea get. Let's see if I can execute. I don't want there to be too many. But I don't know. That's way too uniform. Okay, I'm gonna go use one of the brushes that I use whenever I need randomness, and that is one of the splatter brushes. I'm just gonna draw it here. It'll look like snow for a little bit, that's fine. I'm just using it to help me give myself an idea of where I should put some of these other little bits. So I'm using it as a guide to help me draw, as opposed to the thing that I'm actually drawing. Okay. So this still might be too many. I'm gonna lower your opacity and draw the real one now. But at the very least, now I got some random spots I can put stuff in. The human brain is surprisingly bad at randomness, so I always like to give it a little bit of help and use some brushes with a bit of randomness to them. Okay, there we go. Now I can see where they are a little better. Perfect. Okay, I think that's good. All right. So next, I'm going to reduce the opacity a little, and then I need to perfect their shapes. And this is where things are going to get interesting, because again, I haven't done something like this before, so I am just kind of trying something and seeing what happens. So I don't even know if this is going to be any good or not. But I just want this to look like a super strong, just absolutely torrential rain. The kind of rain that would be extremely unpleasant to be standing in. So I do think that these bigger droplets here will help with that. Whereas if I wanted it to be a more pleasant rain, I might not do this. So this is just a matter of scale, really. And I'm not going to hollow out all of them, just most of them. I think it aids in the effect. Having them hollowed out, I mean. Makes them a little bit more transparent. So I don't know, do I like it? Yes, but again, I feel like it's a little bit strong. And I think I might have made the hollowed out bits a little bit too large. So I'm gonna tone it back just a little and make them more like little shadowed areas as opposed to most of it. And it's okay. I mean, when stuff is being tried, then that's... It's gonna take a little longer. It's just kind of inevitable. Anywho, I think I will get that splatter brush again, but this time I'm going to use it as a splatter brush. Where it probably will be the final result. I just want like a little trail going off it around these. I've got something in my head. I don't know if this is gonna work. I guess I should look. Actually, it doesn't make that huge difference, so that's okay. And then I definitely want a little bit of like rain splatter on areas where the rain will be hitting things. So that'll be like on this fence here. And a little bit on the fence in the background here. And maybe a little bit on the trees. Little tiny bit. I think I want to blur these just a little bit, though. It's just a little bit strong. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So yeah, I think I can be happy with that. We'll see how I feel about it next time. I'm not entirely sure, but it does look like a pretty heavy rain to me, and it looks pretty rain-like. So I think I would call that good for now. And with that, I think I mostly want to keep the foreground on. But I will group together the rain and the rainbow. So that this way I can at least turn those off and it'll help me be able to pick colors correctly. Because I don't really need those things in order to know which areas I need to draw her. Okay. So, now I guess I can get back into the coat, and now I know which areas of the coat that I care about and which parts I don't. And I think I will actually draw the pole of the umbrella here. Let me remind myself what umbrellas look like. Oh, hold on, gotta cough. Bah. I've had like something going on in my throat all day. Okay. Where is my umbrella pole? Oh yeah, I can also minimize my head groups. This way I don't have to scroll quite as much. Okay, and for this I actually do need to hide the foreground for a second. Or maybe I don't. Okay. Basically, I need to figure out where is the center of this umbrella. And just based on what I have drawn here, I think it's probably like somewhere over here. I think it's like mostly off screen. And I'm pretty okay with that. I don't really want to draw the spot where the umbrella connects to everything. That sounds like pain. Okay. So I'm just gonna draw a straight line right through here. Is that a good thickness? Or is that too thin? I think it's a little bit too thin. Let's bring it up to like 130, 140. And I want to make sure it's sitting on her shoulder as opposed to getting too close to her face there. Okay, but I think that's pretty good, and I do think that I can put this underneath the sleeves. Okay, and I will shade that later. But I wanted its spot to be there so that this way I could actually draw the hands. I don't know, do I have hands in me today? I think I do. I actually think I would like to get that ribbon first, though, because that's like the last thing on her head. And I mean, I guess I have back hair too, but this is like the last big thing on her head, and I would like to just finish it off. Alright, I'm gonna go bald mode for a second here. So I can, in theory, see a little bit better. And I will also hide the umbrella. Okay, so this ribbon. I'm going to use the shadow color that I use for the shirt, which is also the same color as I use for her skin. I'm a little nervous about doing that. But I do believe that it will be more accurate here. And I don't really plan on adding a bunch of details to it or anything. It just needs to exist. Okay, I don't like anything about the shape, so... Okay, so it's connecting at, like, the top of her head. It's going to be connecting on the back, which is probably somewhere around here. Kind of floofs out like that. And then we got the tails. which I do believe will be doing something like this. They are thicker than this, and I don't quite want... I either want them to go off the edge completely or not quite. If it's just there, rubbing up against the edge, it'll be awkward and it'll feel itchy and bad, so I don't want to do that. Okay, that looks good. I don't need to go too hard on this. I should turn the hair back on now. There we go. So now I know exactly where I need to render this. And by rendering, I mostly just mean cleaning up the edge, and then I'm gonna leave it like that. It's just gonna kind of hang out there in the background, not doing a whole lot. But it's got to be there. It is a very strong feature on her, so I gotta make sure it's there. And tail is just wavy, right? Looks like it to me. So let's get a nice little ruffle going on the edge here. And then I think I can call it good. I don't know. Maybe I'll put a little bit of darker shadow. Just where the ribbon splits. There. Ta-da. Okay. Do I want to add any more detail? I don't know. I actually think that looks pretty good. So I will do this. Let's smooth it out. But I will not add any lights to it. Just a couple of little shadows here to give it a little bit more character, I guess. I don't know, man. I just think it looks good. Okay, and I guess I'll put a little bit of gradation. Oops. No, not transparency. Gradation. There we go. Just put a little bit right there, and I'm gonna call that good. Okay. Let's get that stick back in there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to draw a little bit of the ponytail on top of that. But that's fine. I'll do that when I get there. So... yeah, I think I gotta draw some hands. Okay, I'm gonna kill what I have on the arms here. I actually do believe that this layer is now entirely unnecessary with the sleeves there. Well, no, that's not true. I have the shoulder, and I also need her wrists to be coming out here. Okay. It has a little bit of use. It gets to live. Okay, how the heck do people hold umbrellas? Must remember. I also must get the skin tone shadow, which... no, it's the same as it is on the dress. That might actually be dangerous here, huh? Okay, well, I'll deal with that a little later. Let me remind myself how people hold umbrellas. I'm almost certainly gonna need a reference for this. Well... I don't really find hands that hard to draw anymore. Hands in very particular poses, especially when they're holding things. That can get kind of hard. Okay. Alright, can't find one with a two-handed grip, but I should be able to get something close enough here. Alright, so first... Let's see, which hand gets to be on top? I'm trying to picture the pose in my head here. So for me, at least, because presumably because I am right-handed, my left hand goes on top. And on both of them, my thumbs are on the backside, which is nice. This means I don't have to draw very many fingers. Yay. I am just pretending my pen is an umbrella. And that is kind of how I'm testing the pose. Okay. I think I have a good idea of what I need to do here. I am going to invert the color on the dress for a little bit so I can see what I'm doing a little better. And now, let's draw some hands. Okay, so this is gonna be her right hand. So that one is gonna go on the bottom. Probably a bit more like this. With... I guess we probably see part of the finger wrapping around there. No, it should be wrapping the other way. So it'll be more like this. Yes. And then we get fingers doing something like that. Okay. I can get behind this. And then how am I going to handle this hand if it has to be on top? It tells me I probably have the sleeve in the wrong spot because this hand kind of has to go here. And I mean, the hand I have drawn here is way too small, so let's actually get that sized a little bit more correctly. I'm going to have to adjust a lot of the sleeves here, I think. It might actually be for the best that I hide them for the moment. And just focus on getting those hands in. So I think I want to lower this one a little bit more. And I will draw them on separate layers for now. Just to make my life a little bit easier. So this one will be doing something like this. There we go, and now she's got her mittens. So I should be able to turn those mittens into hands. She does not need a head at the moment. I'll give it back to her later. Okay, and then this guy is gonna have like a shadow over here. The thumb will not be showing, but like the shadow's not a thing. It's just I'm trying to figure out where the planes of the hand itself is going and all that good stuff. I don't know. Do I have that going the right way? No, I don't think I do. Pinky should be doing pinky things a little bit more like this. With the shadow here, and then nothing. Okay. Yeah, I can get behind this. And then on my arms layer, the arms layer that gets to live are... This guy now needs to come up here. And this hand, just to compensate for where the arm has to go, it should be angled a little bit more like this, I think. Okay. Okay, so this is working. This is working. Just gotta turn all my placeholder shapes into real shapes. And then all will be well, I think. There we go. So I'm turning the just random little blobs that I had to denote where the hands were gonna go into the real thing now. And I think this is about what I need. I'm not gonna worry about the arm over there. That's gonna be all covered in sleeve. Although I don't know, when I think about it, or at least kind of how I'm feeling it for the moment, I kind of feel like the hand should be going the other way. Which would have the hand... Would it be going up a little bit more like this? Or do they, like, squeeze together? The fingers just squeeze together. This is where a reference will probably help me. I'm looking at my own hand, and... it's not really helping. So... let us go see what the internet has to say. Let's go see what the internet suggests. I don't really feel like I have to worry about it that much, just because... I don't know, is anybody really going to be looking that hard at the hands? You know, thinking about it, in modern times, I think people probably look at hands more often than they used to, just because they want to try to verify whether or not something's AI for some reason. But... so now that I think about it, yeah, I guess it's kind of important. Just one of those things, I guess. Okay, so let's see here. Let's start getting the fingers on this hand into a slightly more correct state. I think I found a pretty good thing I can reference here. Okay, and I'll worry about turning these just random lumps into fingers in a little bit. I just want to make sure that those aforementioned random lumps are in good spots to look like fingers when the time comes. And no, according to my reference, it does look like I had the pinky doing correct pinky things. Just maybe a little bit too meaty. Okay, that seems alright. Okay, and then we let the shadow of the pinky come, like, right there. It'll wrap around, and that should be fine. So there's the palm. Is it angled well? Okay, then aside from this finger being, like, super thick, and I think, honestly, the pinky not being quite thick enough, I think that's pretty good. I think in terms of pose, it is working for me, so let's start cleaning that up. Okay, now the pinky's a little bit too thick too, but that's alright. Let's pull that back just a little. And now I can kind of start getting all these finger widths a little bit better. I'll just squeeze the hand together a little bit, and after that, I will go compare it to her face, which does need... She needs her head back, of course, but I can give it back for a little while, and then I can take it away again. Truly, the power of an artist is an incredible one. Can take away and give and return heads at will. It is fantastic. Okay, give me just a moment here. I've got, like, stuff stuck in the back of my nose, kind of trying to go into my throat, making me choke. So I'm gonna go blow my nose real quick. I will be right back. Alright, I think I got about as much out as I can. Oh, wait, I should have grabbed my tablet. Derp. Just mute for a second, spare you guys. The knocking around, that happens every time I go grab it. So, here we go. Okay. So yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Can I get the arms back and make sure that it is attached well? Because that'll give me some hint as to whether or not I'm doing this right as well. And by reference, the arm is a bit more relaxed. But I don't want her to look too relaxed here. But I will change the angle somewhat. It doesn't matter that much because, you know, it's all going to be covered in coat. But I feel like I should have some idea of what's actually going on here. Okay. Now then, I want to start working out which planes of the hand we see, and I think it's this one, which is why we see the pinky doing that. Yeah, that seems right. And in this case, I think I'm actually gonna pull it up just a little bit here. It just doesn't quite make sense with where I have the arms. If I had the arm lower, it would make sense, but I don't. So, there we go. I will not be doing any arm shading until I have the coat drawn. In fact, I don't even think I'm gonna shade the hands until I have the coat drawn. I just want to have them on there. Okay. Let's compare proportions now. Those hands are super tiny. Okay, and then I kind of want to angle the hand down a little. So this way it's like going away from us a little bit. Let's see, what side of the wrist do I think we see? Like, I don't think that the bottom of this should be showing that much. We probably see a little bit though, so let me just draw that plane in there so this way I can kind of picture this in 3D space. That'll get covered up. That will not actually be seen. But nonetheless, I think it's good to have. How is this? I still think this hand is a little small. Oh, put it up near her face. Maybe it's not actually. Oh, no, a little bit. Just a little. Okay. I didn't realize how small it was before I started transforming it. Okay. I think that's pretty good. So I can use this as a size comparison for the other one when the time comes. So let me make sure I still like the location of the fingers and everything. And then I think that should all be good. Maybe just a little bit more on the underside here. Let that wrap just a little bit more nicely. Go into the wrist. Okay, and I think that should be good. And the rest of the finger angles I can get a little bit more correct once it's time to draw this proper. Okay, that seems all right. You know, fingers are still chonky on this hand, but that's to kind of be expected. I haven't drawn it yet. Okay. So I'm kind of picturing how the plane of the palm goes. So this is where it'll connect into the wrist. This is the pinky wrapping around the pole. So it should not be covering it. And right now, I do believe I have the pinky long and the other finger's not long enough. there we go. I actually do not like where any of these indications are, so I'm going to kill them all. Alright, and now I've got where the pinky is gonna wrap around there. I don't mind that it looks like she's holding it a little bit tensely. I think it suits the atmosphere of this place. Okay, so I'll start drawing in where I think the finger should be going now. And then I just shape things. I'm not really worried about the proportion of it yet. I like to do that at the end, once I kind of know where everything is. It's just a little bit easier on me. Gonna make the pinky a little bit smaller here. It looks a little bit chonky. Right now I think it's too thick. So I will have to get a selection and kind of pull it back a bit. I actually think a lot of the fingers are too thick again. I do that a lot. But fortunately, it's easy just to kind of grab a selection, pull it back, and get them the correct width. This is just the palm. I don't want the wrist to be on here, so let's make sure that's all in the right spot here. Okay. There we go. And that'll be where it connects into the wrist. There we go. And I think that should be pretty good. I'm going to pull the fingers out just a little bit more here. Okay, and now I can size it according to the other one. I think the top part here might be a little bit too thick again. So let's pull that back just a little here. Okay, that seems pretty good. Let's go put the arms back. And I'll kind of draw where this other one connects a little. It'll be something like this. I'm only doing the bare minimum necessary to know where her coat should go. And once I know where the sleeve should go, then, you know, I've got everything I need. And everything will be ready. Let's see. For this, I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and render it today. I think I just want to get it drawn, and then I'll sleep on it until next time. And we'll see if I like what I drew enough to render it all out. But right now, I just want to get these basic things in. And then I can hopefully trust myself. Once I have had some time to actually look at what I did. Okay. So that should be good. Let's turn her head back on for a little bit. Yeah, her arms don't feel like especially thick or anything, and I mean, they're probably a little thin, because I didn't draw the whole thing. But I think that kind of pose is fine. It looks very, I don't know, timid, which is what I want. Let's get those sleeves on there. Get them going to where they should be going. The one on the bottom hand here is looking pretty okay still, but the one on the top hand, it needs to come way up here now. And I actually do believe that this hand should be on top of the sleeve there, yeah. So I'll just go ahead and keep things separated like this for now. Go ahead and invert the color so I can see. And now I can just shape these the way I think they should be shaped. Okay, so far so good. I'm gonna let the... There's like this little bit here that kind of goes on top of her hands. And I will let that partially cover them again. Also means I have less details to draw on hands, which, you know, sounds fantastic to me. Okay. And then this will kind of come off screen and stuff like that. I'll put a big fold there to make the sleeve just look absolutely massive on her. This coat, like, totally devours her, so something like that is entirely appropriate. Ah, yes. I forgot that because I moved the other hand on top that it wasn't going to cover up this hand, and it has to. So let me get that on there. Okay. Okay, and now I do believe... Oops, I drew that part on the wrong layer. That's right, I literally just moved a part to a new layer. These things happen. It's fine. I'll fix it. Okay. So now I think I can make these the regular color, the same color as the coat here. And on the coat itself, I will add a shadow right there, so this way the sleeves will show. Okay. And then I can start adding shadows to the sleeves themselves in order to get all these big, juicy clothing folds in there. They are big. Very, very, very big. Hold on. I need to hide her head again. Yeah, I was like, wait, I didn't draw a part of this. There we go. Now I have. Okay, let's re-invert the color on the dress again. There's like something at the bottom there, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. Because it does not appear to be part of the sleeves. So it must be part of the coat then. Yes, I see. Okay, I'm gonna invert the coat for a second and make sure that these sleeves are doing the sleeve things that they need to be doing. Okay, that's better. And I'll just plop some shadows on this guy here. There we go. And I'll just get all the little connections in here. Like I said, still not going to do any rendering here today. I am just plopping down the basics. And then I'll see if I still like all these shadows that I drew next time. So far, I'm pretty pleased, though. This coat looks absolutely massive. And this slide should definitely not be in shadow, so I should fix that. I just remembered that my light source is strongly over on the right here. So I better be shading things accordingly. And I think this should actually be going off screen. I just want to make sure that it looks like a fold going off screen. There we go. That's better. Okay, and I think that is the basics of all the shadows and stuff. I actually don't like this little bit of coat sticking out here, so I'm gonna kill that, even if it makes sense. It looks bad, and that's what matters. Okay, I think the back of her coat is looking good. I think her shoulders are looking okay. Maybe this arm is a little bit narrow. There we go, and he'll definitely need some shading, which will unfortunately make it blend in with her body there. So I should do something about that. We'll use a dark shadow here. I think most of this dress is going to be in shadow, though. So I'll have to figure out what to do about that. Because that may not look great. But I think I can figure that out when the time comes. Well, thinking about it, I guess it might be the time. No, hold on. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, I guess now might actually be a good time. Just gonna make the coat a little chunkier there. Where is the back of her arm? Do I have that drawn on the arm layer? I do. Okay, let's draw the rest of that here. Let the coat eat her a little bit more. Alright. And then it's like her chest is sticking out of the coat, and that's definitely no good. So, let's get that back inside. There we go. And I'll fill in the rest with coat. Alright. It's probably a piece of her body. There we go. Okay. Body contained within clothing. Always a plus. The shoulder might be a little bit big. I'm assuming that's this layer, so let's kind of pull it back just a little. Oh no, it is part of the body layer. Okay. No problem. Okay, now I want to define where that arm actually is. So I'll just put a little shadow there. Get this going out doing arm things like it should. Okay, seems alright. Still feel like this shoulder might be a little bit long. Which tells me that maybe what I need to do actually is just move where the arm is casting a shadow a little bit. Okay, that should be okay. Let me remove her head again and take a look. Looks good to me. So I'm gonna get the collarbones in there properly. Let me remember how they work. I swear, I always want to draw them, but I never draw them correctly. Never. I think something like that might be okay. Seems alright. Alright. Let's see here. Just for other stuff I want to kind of touch up. Let's just get, like, all the major parts down. What does her coat look like? I still haven't drawn the fur on the back, so maybe I should do that now. Ah, and I see that that cross pattern does not go all the way across the whole thing. Yeah, it's only... Well, does it? No, it looks like it's still being lightly implied through there, so I guess I'll keep it. But I have not drawn the fur yet, so I should do that. Okay. So, that doesn't go... That just goes all the way, like, across the top part, but does not actually connect to where the zipper is. So... Let's see. And you are a different color from, like, literally everything on here. I guess it kind of matches the lining of the zipper on this side. So I'll steal the color from there, and then... just, plop it in, I guess. I don't think we see very much of it, so I'm not going to draw a whole lot. But I'll at least give it a little bit of presence, and let's see, what kind of fur are you? Short. So it's not going to be super furry looking. I don't really want to be doing all that rendering right now, but just to remind myself. Let's pick a shadow color for it real quick. Let it kind of get into shadow over there, and then it'll be like a furry and stuff. There we go. Okay. And then there's this big random white belt sitting on top of this arm. Looks like it's supposed to be about the same color as her dress, so I'll do that. I will just call this layer Random White Belt. Sounds good to me. That seems like a very accurate descriptor. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. Frickin' anime and the random belts. God, it's just so bright there. But I guess I'll draw it. I mean, it's part of her character design, so I'll roll with it. Okay, and then something roughly the same color as the coat. I have no idea what this thing is supposed to be. It just looks like a tape dispenser. I have no idea. I'm not surprised it wasn't drawn on this view. Or the back view for that matter, because it does look like it is longer than the coat. What is that? What is it? I guess this is supposed to be the tape dispenser? Because I see, like, the white belt hanging off of it, and... So... This is the side of it, I guess? So these parts? I have no idea. Man, I'm used to random belts in anime, but typically they connect to something. Okay, well, I'm just gonna draw this then, because that's what it looks like. I'll do my best. Just kind of trying to take it in and make sure that I'm getting it the way I should. Okay, so it looks like it does something like that, and then it goes out a little bit longer, and then there's like these buttons on it, and it should not overlap the zipper. Okay, I'll call that good for now. I think that's enough information that I can draw the full thing. And this is, like, super bright, so I think I'm just gonna bury the whole thing in mostly shadow here. Just gonna leave just a little bit pointed toward the light here. I think that should be fine. Okay, random clothing element added. Let's get the straps on the dress. Oh no, I do have a layer for dress straps already. Okay, cool. They are just not showing at the moment, which is fine. Oh, I even already have them drawn fairly nicely at that. Okay, never mind. They just don't show very much at this angle, I guess. Okay. That's fine. Hair is looking fine, I think. Let's go turn the foreground on so I can see how much I need to care about these things. Yeah, seems fine to me. I don't really like this. I don't know. If it's messing things up compositionally, I might just not draw it. But I'll leave it there for now. Let's see, is there anything else that just needs to exist? A lot of this just looks like texturing. It doesn't go low enough for the pockets. I have the zipper. I have her necklace. I have her hair. Okay, I think I've got everything drawn on now. So I've got the hints of the back hair here. I'll probably draw some more strands when it comes time to render that. See her arms being sucked into the coat here. That's perfect. Okay, so I think the last thing is probably just the umbrella itself, which, you know, is mostly covered up by foreground. I'm just considering how I want to handle the little bit that would be showing up there. How is this drawn anyway? I see, okay. So let's see, I want to kind of straighten this out a little. And it looks like I'm going to have to do this on 2 layers in order to make the colors match. I'm not actually sure what this is. What are you? Are you a piece of the umbrella? You are not. What are you? There's just like this random white thing. Not from the head. Not from the trees. From the umbrella, yes. Okay, so it's a random bit of rain dripping off the umbrella. Okay, I don't like it there, so I will move that. Gonna turn the foreground back on. Okay, yeah, I think with all of the foreground elements on, the umbrella actually looks fine like this. So I guess, speaking of random drops, let's start figuring out how that's gonna work. Okay, I think I have a good idea. I'm just taking a look at some references again here. Make sure that I'm happy with it, but I think I have a general gist. So I want some where the rain kind of blinks off. Kind of like that. And then, probably not like that, actually. Like that idea, but better looking. And then some parts where it just kind of drips on down. So, like, I think this one looks pretty good. And then I might want another layer for a few highlights. And then a separate layer where it kind of falls off the umbrella. I don't know. How many things do I want in here anyway? Let me draw the ones that are supposed to be like falling off the umbrella. It'll definitely be a little bit more on this side. Kind of falling off the corners here. So something like this, maybe? I don't like this one. Okay, so now I can go back in and kind of have some stuff sliding down a little bit more. Make it look nice and wet. Should probably be kind of following the general flow of the umbrella, which I believe will be kind of that way. Okay. Let me turn the other layers on just so I can see what it looks like with all of the elements on it. I just want to make sure it's not too much and that it's not too uniform. Because it didn't actually look super great with everything off, but I think it looks okay with it on. So yeah, I think I can leave it like that. Okay, and I think that's all of the major elements in the picture here. At some point, you know, I'll be able to go back and refine all my nice lights, but that won't happen until she's completely drawn. The lighting on her, I like to do after I've completely drawn the character. So just beyond that, let's see. I guess at some point I should do the background trees. Because right now... Right now, I don't think they're super great. So sure, let's go do that now. I've got a little bit of time here. I'm just going to clear what I got there. Try to draw them a little bit more nicely. I liked the curve on them. It definitely made them a little spookier. And I think I will put each tree on a separate layer just to make my life a little bit easier. And I'll try to make their tilts a little bit more random. It should make them a little bit spookier. And the reason I'm putting them all on different layers right now is just because I think it'll make it a little bit easier when it comes time to do the lighting. I do. I think what I'd like to do, and I'll do a little bit of it now, but what I would like to do is I'd like to take the ones further back and put a little bit more of my lighter color on them. And hopefully start kind of fading them into the distance. Yeah, it's not going to work. I need the color here. And so I'm hopeful that'll make them fade into the background just a little and give a little bit more perspective here. But yeah, I think something like that is good enough. I think the trees are doing what they need to do. They are there doing spooky tree things. Sounds great to me. Okay. Yep, and then we see a little bit of hint of the spooky trees out in the foreground with these branches here and here. And that is perfect. And then we get the fence and the fence there. I guess I can put a little bit of lighting on that fence now. I'm not going to do a lot. But I'll just go ahead and get the last few elements here, and this will give me an idea of how things will look once it's all done. So I'll be a little bit rough. I just want to get an idea. But I think this will look very nice once it's all lit properly. And this is like in the midst of the light, so I think it'll get hit by both sides. Oh no, my fence post didn't go all the way across. Oh well. I'll fix that later. Actually, you know what? Now is a good time. Let's do it. There we go. Now is indeed a fine time, so there we go. And I'll just plop some lighting down on the top of it here. And just kind of carry the light all the way into the ground. Let's see, I think I'm going to try setting this to think hard light looks pretty good. This way you can still kind of see some of the other shadows and stuff. It makes sense to me. Ah, does this one not have the top part? Oh, that's fine. Okay, so that should be the basics of what it'll look like when it's done, and I think that's pretty cool. I don't know, do I have a better option? No, I actually think hard light looks the best. Okay, cool. So we got the trees in, we got the lights on the fence post in, we got the foreground basically finished. So the raindrops on the umbrella are there, I just kind of need to render them. Everything over up here in the corner I think looks good. Coat looks fine. I guess over here is still a little bit ambiguous. What's going on there? We got the ribbon, we got the coat. No, I think that's all correct. I'll just need to make sure that her back hair really, really looks like hair. So I'll probably put a little bit more detail there than I normally would. And that, I think, will solve the issues there. Alright, well, I'd say that this is looking pretty much ready for me to just go in and clean everything up and turn my brain off. So that's probably what will end up happening on a Saturday. Ooh, or not Saturday, Sunday. Sunday, yes. Alright, well, I'm happy. I think this is going to be a nice little picture once it's all done. I think it's looking pretty good now. So, looking forward to finishing it up. We'll see how long it takes me to clean. But I think that this guy will be finished soon. So, yay! But this is where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.